Hello, everyone. Today, thanks for joining me. I want to talk about big subject. It's probably going to be in multiple parts. Um, I'm getting comments and I'm getting references to language that I find troublesome. I hear about artists that, when I ask, the question I like to ask is, what do you want to achieve with your work? That speaks to how success is different for everyone. Um, the people I'm most interested in talking to, the artists that I'm most interested in talking to, because that's the kind of artist I am, are people who are trying to communicate something with their work. Um, whether that means you have a personal point of view you want to make clear, or you want to be political and change the political mind of many people, or you want to speak to endangered species. I mean, that could go anywhere. Well, it could go many places. Um, but there's a lot of rhetoric in our society today, especially we're in the age of memes, and I'll just spend a moment talking about memes and what memes are, because I don't think everyone has a good understanding what a meme is. Centuries ago, many centuries ago, when Western or even Eastern, but we're in a Western society, so uh, you probably know names like Aristotle, Plato, Socrates, um, and previous to that, um, when you probably studied in school Roman mythology. So, what's a myth? Mythology used to be, in those days, a form of communicating ideas that would inform your life, help you make decisions, understand more clearly human behavior, what to expect. But we also knew in those many centuries ago that when we talked about mythology, we weren't necessarily talking about real things. When we talked about Thor or Olympus or Hercules, um, nobody really took them uh, um, for face value. They understood that these were idyllic models, Apollo, Dionysus, talking about the way the human mind works, and the way you drive yourself, your Apollonian theme, or your disarray partying sexual themes of Dionysus, and how that can descend upon you. We understood mythology to be a way of um, good self governance, as well as that translates into the group, right? Um, as our cultures became more and more sophisticated and started communicating in more and more ways and more rapidly, the printing press, and then electronics and technology, and now, of course, everyone talks about Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, blah, 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 blah. We still use that mechanism to inform ourselves and others about how we view the world and how we should behave. The problem is that those huge storybooks of mythologies that we used to have now been reduced to little sentences and even words, and that creates a different kind of a problem, because you can't contain a whole lot of information in one word. Um, and because there's so many words, memes can be less than nurturing, less than life affirming. Memes can be very destructive as well, and they're kind of a shortcut to thinking. And whenever because understanding a mythology, an ancient mythology, required a lot of contemplation, a lot of time to sort it out, raised questions, gave as many questions as answers. It was complicated. Memes, not at all. Memes are free to let you interpret them on the fly, and they can change moment to moment. So that's convenient, but there's also a big danger in that, because all of a sudden cultural influences becomes skewed or confusing. And here's the bottom line. Here's the major point I want to make. The language that you use does not define your environment. The language that you use defines you. Because the first person who hears the things that come out of your mouth that you formulate in your mind and verbalize is you. So even though you may be speaking to somebody else, whether you're writing it down, doing a video like this, or just thinking out loud to yourself, thinking to yourself, the language you use is incredibly important in shaping the way you see the world. And there's so much misinformation and skewed memetics that are going on in the world today, especially for us artists, because our job is 24/7, 365. We don't go to work, come home, relax, become somebody else where we can change our memetic reality. Our myths can shift. As an artist, we're buried in our own myth all the time. So it becomes much more important for you and I to communicate really clearly. Oh, hang on just a minute.